Hey, welcome to AtLab Games. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Francis.
And today, we're going to play
The Expanse. The board game. You said it. All right. The Expanse board game is a game designed for 2 to 4 players by Jeff Engelstein, published by Wizkids. It is a kind of an area control influence placing game. And plays in about 45 minutes to an hour-ish. Right. Could take a little longer, definitely with 4 people, but...
Sure. All right, so let's get this to the table, and we'll show you how it plays. All right, welcome to the table.
Welcome back to space.
Back to space.
We're never leaving space.
No, just keep the space. Actually, we have more in the queue.
I know, we do.
More space games in the queues. But in any case, what game is this? This is Expanse, the board game, set up for 2 players. And what is The Expanse? The Expanse is, aside from a wonderful TV show on Sci-Fi, it is also originated as a series of fiction novels, which are fantastic reads. So if you are not familiar with The Expanse world and lore, you must either watch the show or read the books or do both. I recommend both. But in any case, let's set the stage. So The Expanse is future. Earth, humans have gotten into space now. We've been in space for quite some time, generations in space. Earth is sort of one unified faction now called the United Nations, right? But there are 3 other large factions in play here. You've got the Martians, the Martian Congressional Republic, MCR, who have colonized Mars, are in the process of terraforming it to be like Earth. You have the OPA, the Outer Planets Alliance, which are really space-born and bred people who live in the belt, and they live belters, and they live in all sorts of different bases and asteroids and stuff like that, and moons around the belt. Then you finally have the Protogen, which is really just a mega corporation who does evil things.
Yes.
Evil megacorp.
We'll leave it there.
Yes. So, but for the 2-player setup, you do not play with any of the 4 factions. You actually have to play with 2 specific factions, and those are the ones we've chosen. So who are you playing?
So I am playing as the UN with leader Christian Avasala.
Oh, Christian. And I am the MCR, the Mars Congressional Republic. So this game is going to be about Mars versus the UN, which you could think of U.S. versus Russia, the red versus blue.
Kind of like that, yeah. It's very Twilight Struggle-ish.
Very, and not only in look, but in play. Yes, mechanically, this game will play very much like Twilight Struggle. So the map is really just broken into 4 different bands that they're called. And you've got the Inner Planets band, the Belt, and 2 Outer Planets bands. So this is actually 2 different bands, Jupiter and Saturn. And that really only comes into play when moving ships, because ships move 1 band at a time, typically. We are going to be putting influence on the board. We're going to be moving ships around. You can put influence on any one of the bases as long as you have a ship at the orbital. In this case, you have a ship on Saturn. Mars can put influence on any of the Saturn bases, right? All the squares are bases, and that's where we're going to be counting and scoring influence throughout the game. There are certain block spaces for 2 players. This tightens the board. Otherwise, these are used as initiative tokens in a 3- and 4-player game, so we won't be using those. There are critical resources in this game that you can earn bonus points if they align with your faction. For 2 players, they are ignored, so don't worry about that either. We're starting at 10 CPs, I think they're command points, and that's really our victory points, and the currency we'll be using to draft cards depending on where they are in the lineup as they start to come out. Obviously, the newer ones are more expensive, and they get really cheap going on. Now, the UN has an ability when drafting these cards.
Right. So I'm able to draft both of the first 2 slots for free, basically. So where it's going to cost you 1, it costs me 0 to draft the first 2.
And the Martian starting ability is the fact that I have 2 battleships parked in Mars that are actually worth 2 strength to all the other ships 1 strength. And that will count during scoring for orbital control, which we'll explain later. The way the board is set up now with the starting influence and starting ships are all listed on the back of your player boards. Tells you exactly what to put where, so we don't need to go over that. You see it right here. But we will bring out the cards. Now the deck, the action event deck, is set up to have 6 different scoring cards that will come out into the offer, and at any point on our turn we can actually draft that card and trigger scoring.
Right.
There are 6 different scorers. They're all the same card, but they will trigger scoring as we go along, and the scoring phases will be worth more and more as the game progresses. The player who triggers scoring will choose which sector they want to score for bonus points. Otherwise, everything else scores 1 point. And really, the scoring is based on who controls the base, because we're only scoring bases here. Every base gets scored separately, depending on who has the most influence.
Right.
And there are modifiers, but we'll go through that later. So let me get the cards out. And wow, right off the bat, we've got a scoring card. Now, the scoring cards are seeded throughout the deck evenly, so they will come out throughout play. So we will probably see a scoring card every few rounds. They'll keep coming out. And it moves very quickly, especially with 2 players, because we've taken about half the deck out because certain cards need to be removed for the 2-player only game.
Right.
All right. After the first 3 scoring phases, each one we're gonna add a new technology upgrade to our factions, which will give us more and more unique bonuses as we play. But we're just gonna go back and forth, draft a card, use the card for either its action points up at the upper right. Oh, I'll just hold it up so you can see. Yeah. So in the upper right, you've got action points. So this would be worth 4 action points. With an action point, you can put out influence, you can move a ship, or you can build a ship. Those are the 3 things you can do with action points. Or you could play it for its event text. Now, only if your faction is listed here above the event text. So in this case, I could not play this card for its event, but I could play it for its action points. Right. If I choose to play it for its action points, any other player who has the event, the corresponding event insignia matching, can then play that event for free. So it's kind of risky to play these for action points if the other faction is listed on the card. That is it. I think we are ready to play the game. And you are first. So one last thing to note. Since Francis is the first player, the trailing player, or in this case the second player, is going to control the Rocinante. The Rocinante is sort of a rogue element here that is going to aid the losing side as sort of a catch-up mechanic, and they have one ability, 4 different abilities we could trigger one of them during the scoring round to do sort of a last-ditch effort. You also control the ship, the Rocinante, or the Rossi, and it starts at the starting player's faction home base, which for me is Mars. I control them. It acts, for all intents and purposes, as one of my own ships for while I control it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because thematically, those are your protagonists.
Yes.
For the for the show, for the book. So
yeah, they do.
And they do. They're like kind of contractors.
They do all sorts of awesomeness. So I think we're ready to go.
All right. All right. So I guess I'll do this. The Razorback.
That's actually going to cost you a CP. You definitely want to do that?
What? Well, yeah, I know. I mean, I was going to do the Destruction of Deimos, but... I mean, I guess I...
That's a good one.
Do that.
Yeah.
I know, but I was kind of saving it for later.
Oh, okay. That's a rough card.
What, Deimos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with my original plan, if that's okay with you. And I'm going to move any fleet to any orbital.
Wow. Yeah, look at that.
So, there you
go. All right. Okay, what do we have here?
Heavy burn.
All right, so then I guess at this point, I'm going to trigger scoring.
Okay.
Before it gets ugly. So this is the first scoring round, and basically the scorecards tell you exactly what to do, right? So the active player, me, I secretly select which sector is going to be considered the bonus sector for this scoring, and these scoring sector tokens are picked in secret, and essentially there are 2 for every sector, so you're going to score each sector twice throughout the game. So right off the bat, I'm going to choose one of them to be the bonus. So normal sectors are going to score 1 point for whoever has the most influence and nothing for anybody else.
Right.
Whereas the bonus sectors are going to score 2 points for whoever controls the influence there, and then 1 point for whoever has the second amount. Right. As long as you have you have to have influence there to score, basically. And we're going to score every base. So we have the option now to play a kept event or a Rocinante event. So
Right.
I have a Rocinante, so I can use one of the 4 abilities. So one of them being place 1 influence anywhere from Captain James Holden. So I think what I'll do is put influence on Ceres.
Okay.
Okay.
How serious?
I'm pretty serious about this. All right, so that's my one action. Had you had an event
card.
kept, you've been able to play that now. Now we score each base. So I reveal the sector, and this bonus sector is the inner planets.
All right.
So we will be scoring the inner planets. So we're just going to go through every base one at a time and just apply the scores.
Yep. So we have our bonus scoring over here, right? So,
yep. So for Earth, what do you have?
So for Earth, I'm going to get 2, 4, and then we're going to get a point for orbital control.
Right.
So I'll get 5.
5 points. That's a big scoring for you.
5. Okay.
All right. Now for Mars, it's part of the inner
Same
planets.
thing.
I'm going to also get 5 points.
Okay.
Now
Ceres.
everything else is worth 1 or nothing from here on out. So,
Yep. So you get 1 for Ceres.
1 for Ceres. I don't have orbital control because we're tied. Nothing else in the belt.
Nope. Jupiter, you get 1.
Jupiter, I get 1.
And Rhea, I get 1.
Yeah, that's it. So
Sorry.
that's scoring. It's that simple.
All right. And I am trailing, so I now get the Rocinante.
You are now in control of the Rossi.
And we'll bring our technology out, right?
So we also bring out level 1 technology.
Perfect.
So mine is called Dominance. So now Mars will win all orbital control ties that I'm involved with. So these will now be in my favor as long as we're equal strength.
And I get to use these giant diplomat cubes now. So I have 3 of them. And they're basically VIPs. So they're worth 2
They're
influence
very
when they're on the
important
board.
persons.
And then we would normally also get to deploy a fleet to our home base, but neither of us have fleets.
Nothing to
available,
build. So no ship-to-ship combat yet.
Correct.
But we are getting there, believe me. We are getting there. All right, so it's your turn.
All right. I'm going to use this assassin card. And this is your card, technically. But I'm going to use it for the AP.
Okay.
You can do this thing, but it doesn't really do much. So
It won't.
So for these 2 AP, I'm going to put 1 here. And I'm going to put 1 here.
Okay. Now I would normally be able to do this event, but each player must discard 1 kept card.
And we don't have
We don't have any kept cards, so that is that. Oh, another scoring. You like that. Eek. All right, so what I think I'll do is I'm going to play this card for the AP. Now you're going to get to do your event.
Right.
Which removes 2 influence.
2 influence.
From any...
Well, 1 influence from each Mars base, so
Correct.
1, 2.
So I'll let you get that out of the way now, and then I'll
place 1 of your influence on any Earth base. So I'll place this. Wait a minute. You should be able to take your moves first.
That's fine, because I'm going to put 1 here and here.
Okay.
I'm not going to put... I can't put any on Earth, so...
Yeah.
But you're going to want to think about where
Well, I
else
didn't know
to
what
put.
else you're trying to do
I'll
with
put
your
1
AP.
here
That's what I'm
and
saying.
1 here.
Okay.
Those are my
I know
4.
how sneaky you are.
Yes.
You just go ahead and take your move first.
So those are my 4.
Because I'm so nice.
All right. So that's how that works. All right. Oh, Teresa Yao. She's good.
Yeah.
She's
That is pretty
actually
good.
really good.
The Miller card.
His is really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right. I'm going to play this slingshot racing. That guy looks so happy now.
He is.
He's not going to look happy pretty soon.
Not for long.
Yeah, slingshot racing is no good. So I'm going to play this for the 2 AP. Would you like to take your event first?
No, you do your AP first.
Ridiculous. All right, I'm going to place here. 1, 2.
All right. So I get to remove 1 influence from any outer planet's base.
Yep.
So I will take 1 out of Rhea.
Okay, so the way this works is with my diplomat's advantage, I get to choose. You say I'm going to take 1 out of Rhea, and I get to choose which one you take.
Which cube goes?
So we'll send this cube away.
All right.
That's fine. There may be situations where I actually want to get that big influence guy back.
Cube.
The big cube back.
All right. Sure.
All right.
These are crazy. All right, so I'm going to pay 2 CP to take the Black Ops, and I can remove 1 influence from up to 3 bases, each in a different band.
Okay.
So I'm going to take 1 away from a base in the belt from series.
Okay.
1 away from Rhea. And 1 away from Ganymede. No, I can't. 3 different belts. 1 away from Africa.
Well, that is a different belt.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I'll take away from Ganymede then. Perfect. That's it.
Good idea. All right, so what I'm going to do is take Heavy Burn. Heavy Burn. Here comes the juice. Is that what he says?
Yep. Here comes the juice.
All right, so I can. What this does is allows me to move 2 fleet groups up to 2 bands each. So I'm gonna move this one that's on Tycho right now over to Saturn. That's 2 bands, and the one that's on Ceres, I'm moving over to Jupiter.
Wow, you're building up your fleets in the outer planets. I don't like that.
Discard. Okay.
All right, so I guess I'll spend 1. And I'll play Teresa Yao. So remove X of your fleets from an orbital. Remove X plus 1 opponents. So I'm going to remove him. And then X plus 1.
Oh, I was thinking if you used that, you would just take away 1 of my ships.
If I were to do 0.
Yeah. All right.
So that's Teresa Yao.
I'm assuming you want to do these.
No. I just did this.
Oh, it's just the one?
Just 1, yeah.
Oh, okay.
From 1 orbital. Now we're all dead from Saturn.
That was really efficient of you.
Well, it's not great because I don't have any ships out there.
I don't know why you would have done that. I would have gone for the AP for my card.
Would you?
Yeah.
It was a tough call, but I got to get some ships going.
All right, I'm going to score.
Whoa.
You
Wow.
weren't ready for that, were you?
I was not ready for that. Not remotely.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't have an event, so you can play the Rossi.
Okay, I'm going to place 1 influence anywhere with James Holden.
Yep. Wow. I guess you're scoring the outer planets.
You bet. All right, so we'll start over here. So we're still getting 1 or nothing for these.
Yep.
So I'll get my 1, 2, 3.
3 for Earth.
You'll get 3.
3 for Mars.
You get 1 here for Ceres.
Plus 1.
2 for orbital control.
That's it for the belt.
And then
So
Jupiter.
This is a bonus.
So you've got Europa for 3.
Mm-hmm.
I have Ganymede for 3 plus orbital control.
Right.
And then I have Titan.
I also get 1 for Ganymede because I do get 2nd place.
Oh.
Because I do have influence there.
Right. And then I get 3 for a Titan.
Right, and I get 1.
Or 2.
2 for Titan. No, you get 3.
3.
3 for Titan, and I get 1.
All right. Cool. And you get the Rosie back.
I get the Rosie. She's coming home. All right. And we get our next tech.
Yep.
Which I believe is the same for both of us.
It is, yes.
All right, and I also get to build a ship.
So our next tech is that we can spend 2 AP to remove a fleet where we have a fleet.
Yep.
Just so y'all know.
You also get to build a ship.
Yep.
All right, so that was scoring. Wow, we've been through 2 scorings already.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to pay 1 and take the Voices of Eros. This allows me to place 1 influence in 1 base each in each of the inner planet's belt and outer planets.
No, not each planet in each of the belts. 1 influence in 1 base.
1 influence in
the
1
inner
base
belt
each.
and outer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get to place 3.
4, because there's outer planets is 2.
Place 1 influence in 1 base each of the inner planets, belt, and outer planets. That's 3.
So we'll count that as 1 then?
It's at the outer planets, yes.
I know, but it's 2 bands, right?
We've always played it 3.
I know.
Cheater.
I'll go inner planets, belt, and outer planets. That's the voice of Eros. Creepy, haunted voices.
Yeah.
Another scoring card is up.
All right, get rid of that voice of Eros.
I know.
All right, I think I'll take my Miller card now. So, Detective Miller. He doesn't have his hat in this one.
No.
So this allows me to keep this card at no cost, and then I can discard it to perform the AP, which is 4, and then do an event on another action card on my turn. So
On a subsequent turn. It's a very powerful card.
yeah, well, it kind of I mean, you could use it for the AP right now, but kind of it allows you to beef up and do
Double
2
turn.
different things. Yeah, like 2 turns at the same time.
That's
so
an
that could be really good.
awesome card. All right. Ooh, that's a very powerful card. Very powerful card. Remove 1 influence or 1 fleet from anywhere.
Or you could pick the cards that are actually for your people.
Why?
Since there's like no UN cards out there.
There's one.
Yeah, but
Captain
it's very expensive.
Yevgeny just came out. Franklin DeGraff is a good. He's the Mars ambassador on Earth. Yeah, so I'm going to take...
That's pretty good.
That's really good, actually, but I am not going to use him for his text.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to use him for his AP.
Okay.
So I've got 3 AP, so I'm going to start moving some ships, I think. I'm going to go 1. Because you can move ships 1 band for 1 AP.
Or within the same band.
Or within anywhere within the same band, yep. 1... 2.
That's actually 4 bands.
Oh, Saturn's 4 bands.
Saturn is past Jupiter, so you can go to Jupiter.
2.
And then you can move to Saturn if you like.
I don't want to move there yet. It's a lot of points. 3.
Okay.
That's my 3. That's it. And you are up. See, now all the UN cards are coming out. I think that's all the UN cards are like 4 AP. It's so terrible.
I know, yeah. I guess because they're more flexible in what they can do, right?
Yeah.
Or they do a couple of things a lot. I don't know. Okay, I do like that Nouveau.
You want the Nouveau?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
might. No, but maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll take the Nouveau.
The Nouveau.
All right, so I'm gonna
The
use
Nauvoo.
my Miller
No, it's
card.
the Nauvoo.
Oh yeah, the Nouveau, the Nauvoo. I can
The
never
Nauvoo,
say it.
yeah, the Nauvoo.
So I'm gonna play my Miller card for my 4 AP,
Mm-hmm.
and then do an eligible event, which is this.
That is
eligible
right.
event.
See, that's the
So-
power of Miller.
I know,
Detective Miller. He's
Detective
awesome.
Miller. Even in ghost form.
Ooh, spoilers.
I'm just saying. I didn't say anything. All right, so I have 4.
4 AP. Man, that's brutal.
Okay. Oh, there's so many things I could do here.
Yeah, for 4 AP, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. Okay. So I'm gonna do 1, 2,
Mm-hmm.
3. So I have ships out there. I'll just keep it at 3. And for 4. Okay, I'll just do 4 here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, now I can do this. So remove 1 influence or 1 fleet from anywhere.
So
you know what I'd rather
choices.
do? No, that's okay. Sorry, I'm just like thinking. I think I will remove this fleet or this fleet.
All right, so you damaged my battleship.
Yeah, that's how your battleships work. I can't actually remove them.
He's been weakened.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that's
You can remove him. You just have to hit him again.
I can, yeah. But
All right. You done with this lengthy turn?
hey,
there's a whole lot going on.
there's a lot going on. Oh, it's Bobby Draper.
Bobby Draper.
Who will she work with?
I don't know, but she's a little too expensive for me right now. I'm gonna take Terraforming Mars.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold on to it.
Okay.
For 1.
Okay. Ah, Julie Mao.
Oh, Julie Mao. Jules Mao.
Jules.
Oh, Miller wasn't around
Miller
long
wasn't
enough to
around
see
for
her.
that, I know.
He's gonna be so sad. He's always late. Always late to the
He
party.
is. That's funny. I guess. I'll go here with Captain Givenchy. And I'm going to use it for the AP. So I'm just going to put 1 here and 1 here.
Wow, you're hitting my bases hard at Mars. I don't like that at all.
All your base.
They are belong to you.
To me.
They are belong to you. Okay, so I am going to pay 1.
Okay.
And take Bush Naval Base for the AP.
Okay.
So that's 4 APs. So I'm going to go 1. 2. I have 2 more now.
That's yours.
I know. 3.
Oh, okay. I thought you were removing it.
And 4. I was flying them to Tycho Station.
Right.
Because I need to insert myself into Tycho Station.
Okay.
So now you have the option to
I can't
do that action.
You know that.
All right. All right.
So I'll do Julie Mao card for 1. Remove 1 influence on 2 bases with the same resource type. So we'll take, yeah.
Food. My food bases.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to score.
All right, I knew you would. I wonder if you'll score the belt.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so
So you can take your Rosie event.
Take my Rosie or my terraforming event.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take my terraforming event. That allows me to put 1 influence on each Mars base. And I can't take the Rosie. It would be either or.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so we're going to score the belt.
Okay, so Earth gets... I get 1 for orbital control. And then 1, 2, right?
What? 1 for each base, yep.
Down here, you get orbital control for 1.
Yep.
And
we get
nothing.
Nothing for Mariner Valley.
You get
I get 1
for Landres Nova.
Landres Nova. So
All
series.
Right. Just tell me how many points you get.
So I'm going to get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay.
Jupiter. We've got... I get 1 for orbital control, 1 for Europa, and you get 1 for Ganymede.
Okay.
And Saturn.
I get 1 for Titan.
You get 1 for Titan.
All right.
That's it.
Cool.
And you take the Rossi.
Thank you. And we get our technology.
3rd level technology. This is where it all goes downhill for me. We have no ships to build. And that's it, right?
Yep. Yeah, my level 3 tech allows me to win influence ties during scoring.
Yeah, so this is where...
But you spend an AP to remove a fleet where you have a fleet, and you can do that with your open warfare.
As well. So I could, in 1 turn, I could spend 3 AP to destroy 2 ships.
Exactly.
Anywhere where I have a fleet.
Yep.
So that's it. You're up.
All right. I'm going to spend 2, and I'm going to score as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to score...
Well, don't tell me.
This is frustrating.
And you have the Rossi. This is terrible.
I know. I'm just not I'm not ready for this right now. I feel like I've built up enough of a...
You want like that heavy hit. Where you're
Yeah,
just
I
like,
want to like build up my thing and then like score it, you know? This is just kind of like, guess I got to score now before I lose points. All right, so I get to, I picked the thing. You don't have any kept cards. I get to do this, and I think I will, I mean, I can place an influence, which is probably what I'll do. Yeah, might as well. I'll put it here. Right? Makes sense?
I think I know where you're scoring this round.
Hey, you took the belt, man.
I did.
We're scoring inner planets.
Hard on the belt. That
So
was a risk.
Yikes.
Okay. So inner planets. This is worth 4 points.
I've been building up the inner planets.
Clearly.
Thinking you were going to score that.
All right.
You scored the belt. So, all right. So we are 4 and 2.
Yes.
Right. So I'm going to get 4.
Right.
8, 9.
4, 5, 6, 7,
orbital
8,
control, right?
9. Yes. Holy.
So
moly.
27, 36, and you're gonna get 2 for
just
being
for
here.
having influence in Africa.
Okay. Here, I win this, and I win this.
Yeah. So you win ties now. So that's another 8 points.
So that's 8 plus 9 because I have orbital control.
You sure do. That was brutal.
36, 46, 45.
And I get 4 points.
And you get 4. There.
Wow. So
But you get the Rosie.
I do. She's coming
So
back
close.
home.
It's not like...
It's how it rolls.
It's really not... It's like a struggle of some kind.
It is some kind of a
This is
struggle.
actually more of a Twilight struggle, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah. I mean...
Because we're in the sky.
Yeah, I guess. Yes,
Yes,
you could say that. But if you think about it, right, you've got these warring factions that are on the verge of war, right? And you're really not trying to go to all-out war.
Yeah, well, they're not really warring. That's the thing. They're kind of warring.
It's just conflicts, small conflicts.
Oh, we didn't score the rest of these.
Oh, see, we always focus on the bonus ones. All right, yeah. So let's tie it up.
So you get 2, 4, 5, right?
5 points.
Which is still good.
Still good, yeah. I get 1.
That's why I was reluctant.
I get 2 points here, and you get 1. And you get 1 for Titan.
Okay, so actually I get to keep the Rosie.
Dang it.
Thank you.
I like having the Rosie.
I know you do. All right.
Yeah, so it's my turn. All right. All right, so I'm going to play the Star Helix.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Star Helix. So they are crooked security, but they're going to take care of some influence where I have influence. So I'm going to clean up Mars, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think
didn't think you were going to do that. Okay.
Or not. Well,
I don't know why I have commentary ever. Go ahead.
I can remove up to 2 influence total from bases where I have influence.
Okay,
So,
so you wanna
I'm going
remove
to
here.
clear Mariner Valley
Okay.
and Titan.
And Titan? Oh, Titan. Okay.
And that's it. That's Star
Okay.
Helix.
Got you.
So they work for Mars.
Mm-hmm.
But the sad part about knocking those off the board is that now you have them to put them back on the board. And
Exactly
that's not
where I want to
very
put them.
good for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
But
it's not great for you. But
well, I can only do so much.
I know.
My resources are limited.
All right, I think we're gonna need to do this. Bobby Draper.
Oh, not
I called
Draper.
her to the UN. This was like when Christian Avasana went down to the beach.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
found
right.
her,
And
and she
found
was
her.
like,
She was
"Drunk."
so sad.
She was so sad. All she wanted was to see the ocean on Earth.
That's true.
All right, so I get to remove one opposing non-battleship fleet and place one of my fleets in the same orbital.
Oh.
And that can be unbuilt or from another orbital. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll damage your ship,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll move one of my Earth ships over there.
Wow, you're really hitting the outer planets.
Well, yes, I guess I am. Don't know what else to say about that.
All right, so then I guess I'll
Oh,
just
it's
perform
Dresden.
a covert op.
Okay.
Exchange the position of any 2 influence tokens.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna swap this one with this one.
Really?
No. I am swapping him out.
Okay.
I don't really know if that's gonna help me though.
It probably won't.
All right. With those.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
All right. Wasn't a power play, but it might just buy me some
It's all
time.
these little moves. They
That's
all
it.
add up.
Oh, Katiar Ghazi. I
Kotia.
like him.
All right. Can you take covert op off the board, please?
Nope.
Thank you.
All
Okay,
right.
thanks, bye. All right. I think we need to bring out some riot gear.
Oh dear.
So, I don't know if I want to do this.
Really?
Oh, belt bases.
Oh, you can't do that
Why?
because
Yes,
it's a
I
Mars
can.
only.
No. I'm going to do it for the AP.
Oh, okay.
And actually, I will do this.
Okay.
The reason why I took it is because I knew that you were going to be able to do this.
Maybe I want to remove influence from the belt bases.
You can remove all the influence you want from the belt because I don't have anything there. So.
Oh, I was just kidding.
Okay, that's why I took this one. So, so I have 3 AP to use, and I'm gonna go 1,
Oh man.
2, 3.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt.
So you can do your action if you
I'm
like.
not doing anything. I need to get back in business here.
Okay.
Oh, drummer. Do I want to blockade Earth? Not really. But I
Did
do.
I took that from the 0 pool, right?
Oh, I think you took it from the.
Yeah,
from
okay.
this one. So if you'll charge me one.
Yep.
CP, please. I'm gonna do the blockade of Earth, but I'm not gonna do the event. I'm gonna take the 3 AP.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So I can repair a battleship for 1 AP,
Okay.
which I did.
Great.
All right. Yeah, man, this is a fight for the outer planets now. I don't like this.
Mal Kwiatkowski.
Mal Kwiatkowski.
Mal Quick.
Mike Kwiatkowski?
Mike Kwiatkowski.
Is that what you said?
Okay.
All right.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and take Anthony Dresden.
Oh, not Dresden.
Yes.
The Dresden Files.
He's the one that I won't say it. You have to see the show.
You have to see it.
All right, and he allows me to put 1 influence on 3 different tech bases. He's like a crazy scientist guy.
Wow,
So,
we just
there we go.
crushed the belt. All before my scoring card could come out.
Yes, it came out. I knew it was going to. Here's the thing: if I didn't have anything in the belt and that scoring card came out,
That
it
would
would be
be-
stupid not to do it.
I'd have to score it.
You'd have to. You still might.
I almost have to score it now, yeah. So drop me 2. We're going to score it.
right.
Well, we're going to score something.
It wasn't very.
Didn't necessarily say I was going to score the belt.
All right.
Okay, so you actually get
I get to take this thing. I'm thinking about where I want to go. Because I think I'm going to play some influence.
Oh, well, your one free influence?
My free influence with
the Rosie.
James Holden.
He's going to broadcast some,
he's gonna
some
do
terrible
a
news.
Yeah. All the real news.
Not the fake news.
Not the fake news. Yeah, just the facts.
He's all about the facts. That's why the people love
unfiltered.
him. He's the people's champion.
I'm trying to figure out where you went. And I don't know. I'm thinking you went to the belt, but I'm not sure.
Interesting.
I'm trying to read your face right now. That was a really bad, stone face. Yeah, because this could be very bad for me either way. Let's see. It'll be 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3. Oh, you might have gone to Out of Planets though. Because I'm gonna win that anyway.
Are you now?
You know what I mean?
We shall see.
I just don't know.
I can see the gears turning.
Can you see the gears turning in my
can.
head right now? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go... Because I can put this anywhere, right?
You sure can.
I'm going to put it here.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why is because very seldom are you able to place influence just anywhere without having a ship.
That is correct.
So, I can place some stuff in these areas later on if I need to. And eventually all this has to get scored, so...
It all gets scored. That is correct. So, what are we scoring?
Outer Planets.
The Outer Planets.
I knew it.
I figured I'd throw a curveball in there. Why not? That's the beauty of the hidden selection.
I knew you were going to score that, though. That's fine.
Well, it really came down to where was the final battle going to take place?
In the belt?
In the belt.
Yeah. Okay, well, enough drama.
This is all about drama. This is a drama. All right, so let's start with Earth. Yep.
So 1, 2, 3 for me.
3 for Earth. Yeah, you're gonna get some points here. 1 for me, 2 for you. Yeah. The belt. So I'm gonna get 1, 2, 3. You get 1, and we're tied here, so we both get 0. You actually win that.
Yep. And I get this one.
And you get tossed.
And that's part of the reason why I went here, too, because I didn't have presence there.
Correct.
Which would have given you the point, and I get no points.
That's right.
So it actually works out for me.
Good call. All right, so I'm going to get dominance here.
Okay.
Orbital control.
Dominance.
Sorry, so these are worth 4 points. I'm going to get 4 for Europa.
Okay.
4 for Ganymede.
4 for Ganymede. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
You're going to get 4 for Rhea. 1 for orbital control.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to get 4 for Titan.
Great, and I get to keep the Rosie.
You gave yourself 2 for Ganymede, right? Because you do get 2 points, because you did have second place.
Oh, no, I don't think I did.
So we're tied.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, in a 2-player game, in case of a tie, which we are tied on the CP track, the Rocinante does not change hands, and that's a pretty important factor here.
That's a very important factor.
I don't like this.
You don't like that factor?
I do not. So it looks like we've got one final scoring coming, and we all know where it's going to be.
We do. We do.
So the belt is going to be hot and heavy.
All right. You're doing like sports narrative for this game.
Why not, right? Like this is just, is where it all comes down.
The final scoring will happen in the belt.
In the belt.
In the ring.
All right, so let's get ready.
It's my turn, right?
It's your turn.
Okay. Okay, this is going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to take Kotir Ghazi, I think. So I get to keep this at no CP cost, and if I play this as an event during scoring, I can look at the bonus token, which we already know what it is, and take 2 AP of actions. Hopefully that helps out.
Jeez,
what's that last scoring card, like buried?
I hope so, because I need time. So I'm going to pay one of my CPs and take Drummer.
Okay.
And use her for AP.
Okay. I know you have a lot of that in this game.
Yeah, me? Who are you kidding? So it's 3 AP I could put out. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. Oh.
These are all your cards.
They sure are.
You should be so excited.
I'm getting there. A lot of Mars.
Mm-hmm. This is problematic. Oh, ooh. I knew what I wanted to do and then I didn't know. It's not good. Okay. My plan has changed. I'm going to pay 1. And I'm going to take the hybrid.
The hybrid. Oh.
For its text.
Mm-hmm.
So select a base. That base.
Okay. Eros.
Draw the top action card from the deck.
Uh-huh.
And remove influence equal to the AP.
3. So you cleared off Eros.
Yeah. And you get to keep that.
All right. That's the event. Wow.
Scoring.
Nope.
No.
Yes. Oh, where does that leave me? In a precarious position. All right, so I'm going to take this for 2 and use it for 3 AP.
Okay.
So I'm going to put 2 back on Eros and 1 in Tycho. And our last card is scoring. So, you going to play that now? I think now would be a good time.
What? Oh, no.
Oh.
I'm not done. At all. I'm going to take... I was gonna do that one, but I might pay just for an additional guy. Admiral Southern.
Oh. You may move each of your fleets up to 1 band, including the Rocinante.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to pay 1, but I'm using him for his AP.
Okay.
So, you can do that if you want.
You sure can.
You sure can. So I'm going to use this for AP, and I'm going to use 1 AP to move these guys 1 band. That's 1.
That's 2 fleets.
Right. That's
Thanks.
1 group of fleets.
Oh, okay, yes.
Right?
1 group of fleets.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay, thank you. And then 2 to move this guy here.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 to move this guy here.
Okay.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay. Wait, that was only 3, right?
Mm-hmm. You get 1 more.
I get 1 more? So I'll move this guy here. Okay.
So you used it for the AP.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, do I score?
If you want.
Why not? Let's see how this pans out.
Okay.
We all know where the sector's going.
Yes.
We're scoring the belt.
Yes. Okay.
All right, so you get to actually
get to
choose the event or the Rocinante.
I know. I forgot that I can't
Yeah.
use both. That sucks.
You could use both.
I should have just used this guy for his AP.
If you were cheating.
Keep this card as... Okay, so I can take 2 AP of actions.
Which actually is not bad.
It's not. It's going to be fine. I just would have preferred to use 3 AP of action.
Of course you would have.
You know what I mean? But that's okay. Whatever. Because we're going to go... Oh, well, you know what? Yeah, because I would have just not moved this fleet here and put an influence right there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's whatever. So I'll put one here. And I'll put one here. Because it doesn't matter which one.
Okay.
Right.
Let's score it up.
Oh, right.
So let's start with Earth. You get your typical 3 points for Earth, right? 1, 2. Actually, you don't have orbital control of Earth. I do.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 2 points and I get 1. Mars, I get 1 plus 1 is 2, and
no,
you
only
get
get
1. I get orbital control.
Yeah, just 1.
I get Mariner Valley as well. So that's 2.
Oh, yeah.
And you
and
get
I
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Series.
series. I get 5.
We're scoring the belt. Yeah, so you get 5. I
You
get
3.
4. Because I have orbital control.
I know. I'm just doing the... I
Okay.
have to do it separately.
Okay.
Same here.
Yep.
Well, oh, and then you get 3.
Right.
Because
I'm second place.
you're second. Okay.
And I get 1 more for orbital control.
Okay. And then down here, you get 5. Plus 1.
Yep, and you get 3.
1, 2, 3. And then down here, I get 5.
Plus 1.
Plus 1 for
And I get
control,
3.
I get 3.
Okay. Jupiter. So
Okay.
I get Europa for 1. Ganymede for 1, and you get orbital control. So yep, just pushed you up. And then Rhea, you get 1 and 1, and I get 1 for Saturn. And that's it.
That's all.
Wow, it was
That
tight.
was really close.
So close. Man.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's go talk about it.
All right.
All right. There you go.
That was
It was
That was-
expansive.
it wasn't that expansive.
Yeah.
It it was definitely a struggle.
Yes, it was.
I was really interested to see how our scoring was going to come out because I really felt like at some points you had me. At other points, like I wasn't ready for scoring. I like
You
any
never
of
are.
the scoring
I don't
times.
think you ever are. And neither was I.
Which is interesting because I think like in Twilight Struggle, which I think we're probably going to compare this to in a little bit, you have the scoring card in your hand and you kind of have to decide when to play it when it's optimal.
Right.
But in this case, it's like either of you could take it, so you kind of have to act a little more impulsively on the scoring.
Well, I mean, yeah, and with
weird.
Twilight Struggle, even though you have it in your hand,
Right.
you still don't have enough time
You're still not
typically
ready for
to
it.
get
Yeah.
to the right influence in that region if it's something you
Right.
have been ignoring for a while. So, I mean, either way, it's always going to bite you.
Yeah, but anyway, but it worked out. So it was only a couple points apart, very
A
balanced.
couple point difference, yeah.
But let's, so we'll jump into this like we always do.
Sure.
And talk about this from a replayability standpoint.
Okay.
Because I have some thoughts about this.
You do? Well, let's hear those thoughts.
Okay. The thing about this game that I feel like just doesn't lend to a ton of replayability is the fact that, at least in a 2-player construct, in a 3-player construct too, you're set with which factions you can play, right?
Yes.
Each of those factions has its own strengths. You're going to have your own, kind of schema according to what the strengths of that faction are. I mean, I guess as with any area control game where you're playing different factions and stuff, you have these kind of variable player powers and stuff.
Sure.
But your experience is kind of the same every time, depending on what faction you're playing. So you're kind of playing through a story. The events are set up for that play into the story, and it really is up to you to optimize the cards as they come out because there's some randomness there. But I would just say not very high replayability on this one.
Yeah, I would
know
agree.
what you think.
I mean, I guess you could. I mean, if it were a lighter, shorter game, it would probably.
I think so. Yeah, if it were lighter and shorter.
Right,
sure.
but it's not. It definitely takes some time to play through this game. And I think with the more players you have, it's going to take even longer because there's a lot of decisions to be made and a lot of strategy to be made on every turn. Even though there's only 5 cards on the table at any given time, like there's a lot of choices, and you have very limited actions to take, right? Because your turn, and you have to make the most optimal decisions on your turn.
Correct.
So I think, I mean, you're going to get replayability in the sense that the different cards are always going to come out at different times, right? So one card that may have been really great at the end of the game,
Right.
you know, comes out in the first draw.
Right.
And then you're like, wow, this would have been great had I been targeting certain regions or what have you.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, well, this thing lets me destroy a bunch of ships, but hardly anybody has any ships on the board, you know? So
Right.
you're going to get that variability at the start of the game. But I think the replayability, at least from a 2-player perspective, and that's really what we're going to speak to, would have been boosted by the players being able to play any of the 4 classes or any of the 4 factions. I think that's where it falls short.
Because it's kind of a tease, because you look through some of the, like, playing as proto-gen, or especially if you know the theme and you know the books and you know the stuff that's happening, like, it would be so cool to play as one of those other factions.
Sure.
But you're not going to have that opportunity unless you're playing with a higher player count.
Right, and if you can't get a higher player count, you're going to miss half of what this game has to offer.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, so that's kind of how we feel about replayability on this one. But let's talk about weight and audience as well.
I wouldn't classify this as a heavy game, right? And I think we both wouldn't classify it as a light game either.
No, definitely, I would definitely say midweight.
Yeah, so it hits somewhere in the middle. I mean, there's a lot of strategy to it. The rules are quite simple once you are able to interpret them correctly from the rules manual, and we'll get to that later.
Right.
But once you're able to really understand, and I'm pretty confident we got the rules right, but I'm not 100% confident.
It took us a while to get the rules right. I mean, we've played this one several times.
Yes, and we've played it several times.
It wrong several times.
And then figured out a rules error.
Right.
Corrected it, or not even an error, but more of a misinterpretation.
Yeah, I would.
Right?
That's more what I would say.
So, but we'll get to that in a bit. So, midweight game.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely for gamers. So this is
and gamers
area control and things of that nature.
Who definitely want interaction.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of player interaction in this game, which is a good thing. I mean, you're constantly your board is constantly being changed and impacted by the other players.
Right.
And it's neat to kind of play that sort of game, because we usually play games where the game itself is manipulating what we do.
Right.
And then changing, and events change what happened to us. But in this game, the players directly influence what's happening on the board and what's happening with what you've built. So I think it's a pretty cool change up from what we normally do.
Yeah, and I think that, everybody kind of knows, like, I don't like a ton of player interaction in my games to that extent. But this was actually kind of refreshing, because you did feel like the game is kind of guiding some of the decisions that you have to make. And the assaults weren't so punishing that you couldn't recover from them. So just like in Twilight Struggle, which we really enjoy. Yeah. There's going to be some back and forth, and it's about optimizing scoring when you're up. You know what I mean? And getting out, before.
Because you've got to see, if you're really built up somewhere, it's only a matter of time before the other player takes it back away.
Exactly.
Because they have to.
Yeah.
So once you're even close to being built up, score it. If you can, you have to know and jump in and score it. But you've got to be able to want that sort of give and take with another player.
Exactly.
To really get the most out of this game.
Yeah, good. So that's kind of who your audience is for this one.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about theme components.
Okay, yeah. So theme is awesome.
Theme is fantastic.
We love The Expanse. Read all the books. So
we both read the books
watched
and watched
the show.
The shows and stuff,
Huge fans of this this IP. So whenever a company makes a game off of an IP, you always get a little bit concerned, right? Because you're not sure if it's rushed out, if it's just kind of pieced together and they're selling it on theme alone. And happily, it's not. There's definitely a game in here, and a pretty good one at that. If you like Twilight Struggle, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think from a theme perspective, and I'm not big on stills from a show or a movie You've seen like Star Trek Frontiers did that when they rebranded Mage Knight for Star Trek. Not a huge fan of that, but I think they do work in this game.
It does.
I think because
because
the pictures and the scenes they took are pretty cool. Where I think the ones in like Star Trek are kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
But I'll probably get a lot of hate for that comment. But
you're entitled to your opinion.
But theme is cool. Components I think are pretty bare bones.
Yeah. I will say when we, I think we first saw this at
Gen Con?
I was going to say it might have even been Origins.
Origins. I think
it was either Origins.
We saw the
or
box at Gen Con. We saw the actual game at Origins. They had the box behind glass at the Wizkids stand. And we were like, oh, the Expanse is coming. But we didn't get to see any more of it.
I think we saw Origins, we saw the box.
Oh, yeah, and then Gen Con, the game. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because Origins was first.
When we saw it, we were excited, and then we saw it at on the table, and we were just kind of like,
yeah, I was like, just the components.
Just based on components.
Yeah.
Because we won't talk expectations now. We're just talking about components. It was kind of like, oh man, like did they rush it? Like
Yeah, they're bare bones.
Kind of dry.
There's
It's serviceable. I think you say it's serviceable.
Serviceable,
right?
There's no bones about it. It was really, really plain vanilla components.
Really.
Yeah, I mean, from the ships to the little the cubes, like it's stock components.
Yes.
There's no question that not a lot went into the components. The cards are cool.
The cards are neat.
But they're functional.
Yes.
And the pictures are cool.
Yeah.
The characters and the scenes they chose are cool. But there's this much flavor text on those cards.
It was like, it would have been really cool if they had put some of the quotes on the cards.
Anything.
Or like, I mean, there's so many good, lines from the books and stuff that they could have.
It's just so rich with theme,
some
this show.
zombies.
Yeah, like, there's just so much you could pull from the show and from the books to really just add a little bit more theme.
Right, yeah.
And I think it fell a little bit short of what we would have liked to see as far as, really injecting everything that is the Expanse into this game.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, mechanically, the game has the feel of the push and pull of the politics and the whole political architecture and the whole struggle.
Right.
Of the verse of the whole universe, not the verse. That's fine.
Yeah.
But of the whole universe. But I think it could have gone a lot further had there been some small things added.
Yeah, it felt very much like any vanilla game with good mechanics and stuff with like a theme laminated on.
Right.
Like it could have been any series with these kinds of
series
struggles
station,
and things.
Could have been.
But I mean, as we said, it works. It's fine.
Yeah, it's functional.
Just nothing like blowing our socks off. So.
Nope.
Okay. Fun factor. Did you have fun?
It's fun.
All the times we played.
We played many times. And it's a fun puzzler to try to figure out how to use the best action with not giving your opponent a better action. Yeah. Or the benefit, right?
Yeah.
And this tug of war. And normally I wouldn't think we'd have fun with a conflicty game like this, but it's way bearable.
Right.
It's not bad. It's not punishing.
Right.
It's not in your face. It's like, all right, you know what? I got to take some of these cubes away. And as the other player, they have to do that.
And you also know that you can go back out on your next turn if you really want to and put cubes back out there. It does set you back a little bit,
sure.
Because you spend a lot of your time kind of on defense, sort of, but
you have to.
But it's not as punishing as a lot of other, like, I think, area control games that we've played.
Because it doesn't take you rounds and rounds and rounds to build up an whole engine. You've got the resources. You just got to get them back on the board.
Right.
And you can recover within a turn.
Exactly.
And you may not get ahead, but at least you've recovered.
Yeah.
And then you can attack them right back, and then they have to go in the defensive. So it's just a back and forth, and it's fine.
All right, so let's talk about what this compares to. So we keep talking about Twilight Struggle.
Yes.
But I think that's just like the Paramount compares to for this one. It is like Twilight Struggle.
Yeah, I mean, So if you want to say this is like any other game, I think the obvious answer is it's like Twilight Struggle, right? Except it's not just for 2 players. Mm-hmm. It's for up to 4 players, which I think really kind of opens it up. And I think it also is probably why the action cards and event cards aren't nearly as complex as they are in Twilight Struggle. But it's got obviously its differences and whatnot. But the general mechanic of playing a card for either its points or its event, and then the other factions getting to trigger the event if you play for points.
Right.
Is pretty much Twilight Struggle. Like with a much tighter map, obviously, because you don't have all of those different countries.
Well, not so much secrecy. So there's almost like you're sharing your hand in a way. So, that's
but
Twilight
Twilight Struggle.
Anything else? I mean, would probably be the best one.
Yeah,
like Twilight Struggle Light. All right, now let's talk about expectations.
Expectations.
I had like an expectation roller coaster with this game.
Yeah, really did.
Because like we explained, so we saw it, and like we knew it was coming out, so we were excited about it. We saw it behind like a glass case where we couldn't get to it.
It was also sort of a very careful excitement.
It was very cautious because
I like
we
to
didn't
be.
know.
I don't. I see an IP and I'm like, cool, but I'm like, okay, let's wait and see what kind of game this is. Because if it's like a trading card game, then it's like, wah.
I know. So I think that I kind of like landed on that with expectations. So even though I was excited about it because of the IP.
Yeah.
I still was trying to manage my expectations a little bit, assuming that I was probably just going to like it because of the theme and because of the IP.
Right.
And whatever kind of game they threw into it, I was just going to have to deal with, you know what I mean? Because I like it.
And hope you like it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was kind of there with it. But for me, I was actually pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I think it exceeded my expectations. I wouldn't say it like blew me away, you know what I mean? But it definitely exceeded my expectations for what I anticipated this was going to be like.
Correct, especially after we saw it on the table and we're very like sort of let down by the components. So don't let that sway you.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're not really, because if I were to throw out Twilight Struggle and you looked at those components, you'd probably be like, what? And when I first opened it up, I'm like, what is so good about this game? Like, there's like little square numbers that are red and blue. Like, is this even?
There's so much more.
But there's so much more.
Yeah.
So if you look past that and you look at the game for what it is, I think there's a lot more depth to it, a lot more value in it that goes above and beyond the components. So maybe that's what they were going here. Just let's go. But I think that since there's not as much depth in this one, and there's so much theme that is trying to carry this, that you needed, they should have focused a little bit more on the themes.
Yeah, and I will say again, I mean, we've only played this with the two of us several times. So we, haven't had the opportunity to see what difference, like, the influence track really makes. Or to see what kind of, how the interaction changes when you have more people on the board, because I feel like it might change a lot.
Agreed.
And maybe I would be blown away by it.
But most of our reviews, this is a two-player review. This is
based on our two-player experience. Solely. So, mildly exceeded my expectations.
Yes, and I would agree. It definitely it hit above the mark of what I expected after learning all the things we've learned about it and seeing all the things we've seen.
Yes.
We were still anxious and excited to get it. And I ended up enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would.
Right. Yes. So. Very much so. All right. So let's talk pros and cons.
Pros and cons. All right. So
start with the pros.
Go ahead and throw a pro out there.
Okay. So definitely the IP. So the theme as like the Expanse.
The Expanse in a board game.
If you know the Expanse universe and things like that, and the books and the shows and stuff.
Right. Then this would be a pro.
Definitely a pro. Probably not a pro if you don't know the show.
Yeah, I would agree. So if you don't know the show, you don't know the books.
Yeah.
Go watch it and read it.
Yeah, and then you'll appreciate it.
And then this will be an absolute pro for you because it is a really good IP.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to finally see a game based on it.
Yes,
and I look forward to many, many more games in this universe. So.
What about you, pros?
I'd say a good pro for me would be the player interaction in this game.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think that I love the fact that you have the whole Twilight Struggle. We keep going back to that, but that whole mechanism of really being thoughtful about how you use a card, right?
Right.
And how another player can benefit from you using action points or ability points on a card,
that's
right?
True.
Like that, I really like that mechanic, and I like the fact that the board is really tight. with two, and we've had struggles lately with games for 2 players that they've left the boards somewhat
it's like
loose.
so loose, yeah.
Right, that you just kind of go and you do your own thing. Well, this one you really have to interact, and you have to sort of manipulate the influence of your opponent in order to even stay remotely in the game.
Right.
But it's not in such a vicious way
that you
feel like you're crippling everything they've achieved.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you don't feel like, I don't know, like the interaction in this game isn't punishing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel like, I don't know, upset because like something you did, like you worked really hard for. Somebody takes your influence away, you spend some action points, you put it right back on the board.
It's not that hard.
It's a little more strategic than that, but it doesn't feel, I guess it works well with the game. So, yeah, I would consider that a pro too. The interaction is really good without being vicious.
Right.
Yeah.
I do like, another pro for me would be the players having control over the game duration.
Yes.
Which you don't normally see.
Right.
So it's not about how many actions have you played, and everybody takes a turn, round ends. Everybody takes a turn, round ends.
Well, that's a difference actually from Twilight Struggle.
Yes.
So you're, like you said, I think during the playthrough, you're not penalized for holding on to the scorecards.
Sure.
So.
Well, you are in Twilight Struggle.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You are in Twilight Struggle. You're not in this.
No, this one you could let it sit for a while. Let it bake.
But the fun in it, though, and the what we were just saying with the player interaction is like you're basically sharing that hand.
Yeah.
So you may not want to trigger scoring right now, but it's completely up to the both of you or to somebody else to decide whether to accelerate that game or not.
Yep.
I mean, we took scoring right away, really quickly. Our first 2 scoring rounds, I think, weren't they? So, we didn't have to do it that quickly, but we did.
I agree. Yes, but where I like that you control that.
Yeah.
You have control over the round, the scoring rounds. All right.
All right. Final pro, I think.
Final pro.
The final pro.
Rocinante.
I wanted to say it.
Okay, you can say it.
No, I agree completely. So the Rosie was so cool.
It is, and it's an absolute must for this game.
Yeah.
And what did you think about how it was incorporated into the game mechanics?
I loved it because the thing is, if you know the backstory and you've read the books or you've seen the show, you know that those 4 characters on the Rocinante, they're your protagonists. So those are the guys that like you're rooting for the entire time.
Yeah.
They're contractors, so they're kind of like getting picked up, like, Mars will ask them to do a job, or they'll do a job for the UN, and, they don't really have, like, loyalty to anybody, but at the same time, they're the most desired people out there because of their kind of, like, lack of loyalty to an extent. So they're really neat, and for them to incorporate that in such a way into the game, I thought was highly thematic, probably the most thematic part of the game, and definitely a pro.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, not like overpowered, but it was
no, it's not at all. It was just enough to give you somewhat of an edge. So
yeah.
I thought it was good.
That was neat.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about cons.
Cons. Okay, so I'll start.
Okay.
Component quality.
Yes.
We went on about this in the game,
right.
In the review. We'll just close with it. They could have been better.
Right.
We'll leave it at that.
And it's funny because we usually group together like theme and components so much so, and we're usually so, I don't know, they're aligned usually, like great theme, great components, In this case, we really like the theme. Components were like, meh.
Yeah, they kind of fell flat.
Yeah, so, and we've talked about that. So, other cons. The biggest issue that I had was the inability to play as different factions.
Yes.
At 2 players.
Yep.
So, if you have a game group that you have 4 people and it doesn't matter and you can all switch around and play different stuff, then great. It's harder for us to try and like find 2 other people to play a game like this with us. I mean, even among the gamers that we know, they may not want to sit down and play like a, kind of Twilight Struggle-y sort of game. So I wish they would have incorporated, because the main reason why you can't do that is because those decks that you put out have all the different like flags on them. So you have to, and things are blocked off on the board. It's very like scripted the way that the game is going to play depending on your player count. Right. And it would have been nice if they had like, symbols on the cards or something so that you could kind of build your own deck to play with 2, depending on which faction you're playing with. So it's like, are you playing this faction, put together these 2 decks.
And maybe there's balancing issues behind
there
that.
There may be. We don't know. I have no idea. But that maybe in an expansion.
That would be an expansion. That would be perfect. So I would say if they put out something that allowed you to play those other factions in a 2-player setting, that would be huge.
Fantastic.
That would go a long way for this game.
Absolutely,
I think.
Because that was the biggest thing with this one is like replayability in the long run.
Yeah.
For me, is going to be a little bit limited.
You're only accessing half the game.
I know.
You know.
Well, and even to the extent that like we're not even doing anything with the influence track or the
resources. Yeah, so you're not even scoring
like
those.
A really neat element to the game.
If they could wrap that into the 2-player experience and allow you to be other factions, it would completely round out this game for that perspective.
Because I feel like I'm kind of missing out a little.
Yeah, so that's a con for us.
Yeah. Other cons.
All right, so I have one more, and it is in the ambiguity in pretty much everything that's been written in this.
Pretty much all written text.
All written text in this game is ambiguous, for the most part.
Yeah.
For example, when a card says remove 1 influence or remove up to 2 influence, you treat tokens as 1 influence, right? But when you have a double influence diplomat,
like with the UN has the double influence diplomat,
that's 1 token. So it doesn't clearly specify when it says 1 that it's referring to a token, but it's supposed to be I don't know, and I guess implied that it's what it is. I don't know.
And it's weird because typically you can infer the rules based on other rules.
Right.
And in this case, you have different rules that are also not really consistently written. So you could kind of equate the diplomat to like your Martian ships. You know what I mean? In a way. In which case, yours explicitly tell you that if that chip is to be removed, it's actually flipped and damaged, and then some other stuff happens with it, which would lead you to assume that if that was the case with the diplomat, then they would just be removed. But the ambiguity comes in when sometimes you'll see text that says like an influence, other times it'll say 1 influence, and then other times it'll say 1 influence token.
Right.
And they could all mean the same thing, but
how do you know?
But it leaves you wondering like, was this a editing mistake or was it?
Or if they say token here, does that mean everywhere else they don't say token?
They mean
it implies that I should just add up the influence. So we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
That's where we struggled with this.
Yeah.
A lot.
And that's part of the reason why we played it so many times.
Right.
Because we wanted to get the rules
as right as possible. May seem right might not have been, and what seemed wrong actually ended up being right. And we're like, well, this changes everything. When you change something that seems very small, it's huge. Because if I can, with 1 influence, remove 1 influence, if I can remove a diplomat with 1 influence, I'll do it because he's worth 2. But if it's going to take me 2, that's a whole different story.
Exactly.
Because not a lot of cards let you move 2.
Right.
Remove 1 from here, remove 1 from here, remove 1 from here.
Right.
Does that mean they're untouchable? That's kind of OP, but I don't know. Right. So it's that ambiguity that I struggle with.
Yeah, and I struggle with the same. So, all right. So I guess that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that was all the cons and that we had for it. So there you go. The Expanse board game. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And if you haven't watched The Expanse or read the books, what are you doing watching our video? Go watch that. All right. See you next time.
All right. See you.